Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of my F1 2020 My Team career mode for the Belgian Grand Prix today. So heading into this one we have a decent lead in the championship after many of our rivals ran into some issues last time out in Hungary. But this time I think we'll have a much tougher time of things. We do have the best car and it is only getting better, as you can see on the R&D chart. But we'll see how things go. Romain Grosjean will be tough to beat as well. We're first and fourth in the first round of qualifying, and as we scroll down the list, Carlos Sainz and Esteban Ocon knocked out. Bit of a surprise there, but even more of a surprise, George Russell, who got that insane podium last time out in the Haas car. Very unlucky, gets last place in qualifying here. So yeah, disaster for him. And Giovinazzi and De Vries doing a good job to get through. But Q2, you can see it is raining, and that makes things very difficult, especially when you're trying to overtake someone heading up Eau Rouge. And we just about get through there, but Ricciardo did leave us space, but we opted to climb over the curbs on the inside, which upset the car a little bit heading up there, and we had to slither and slide our way up the hill, but thankfully we were able to keep things all under control and set a nice banker lap here in Q2, and hopefully that is good enough to get us through, and it is just about down in 9th position in this one. Danny Rick gets knocked out in this one, so that's unfortunate for him, but other than that, no real surprises. Giovinazzi and De Vries there at the back, as you would expect, but they did a good job to get through into Q2 in the first place. Now into Q3, look at that, we've got the stormy conditions, the worst rain in this game. The full wet tyres required here, and there's no point setting a lap time in these conditions. It's just going to be terrible, but I just like to get out on track and actually see what it looks like, because you don't get these conditions very often. You're lucky to get them you know, once every few seasons, you know, throughout any kind of session. So crazy to have this for qualifying, and you can see there is absolutely no visibility. You can hardly see the trees on the edge of the track. The rain is falling so hard, and yeah, we will try and set a lap time, but there's really not going to be anything special if these conditions hit during the race. The safety car would be called out, but by the time we actually get around to start a flying lap, the rain's definitely eased off a bit. It's just the regular heavy rain now, so still plenty of water on the track and falling out of the sky, but nothing like what it was when we first left the pit lane, sliding through Eau Rouge, and just opting to use the runoff there rather than trying to keep it on the track, so costing ourselves some time. And by the time we come around to finish the lap, you can see conditions probably looking a little bit better yet again. So yeah, the conditions definitely, well, drying up is maybe not quite the right word, but certainly not as wet as they were a few moments ago. But anyway, towards the end of the session we do go out, and we will now try to set a time on the intermediate tyres, now that they are the preferred compound in these conditions, as the rain eases off and cars circulate, throwing that water up into the air, out off the circuit, and the racing line drying out a bit. These intermediate tyres will work for us just fine. So now we just need to get this lap in, make sure we don't make any mistakes, and do our best to take a pole position here, but it will be very difficult. I've never been too great in these conditions, though it is always just luck of the draw sometimes. Sometimes I'm able to pull out a good lap in qualifying. We'll see how things go as we continue on for the last half of this lap. Little bit of trouble through here. This bit of a Fania chicane, I think it's called. It's just not gone well there as we ran wide on the exit, but now along the not quite flat out run in the wet conditions to the bus stop, and just 2 corners to go, and we'll finally see where we will qualify for the Belgian Grand Prix, trying to be careful on the traction on the exit towards the finish line, across the line, and we are going to qualify in 6th position for the Belgian Grand Prix. Decent enough.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Leclerc, Bottas and Alexander Albon. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
And a real mixed up grid there. We are ahead of Grosjean, and Leclerc on pole position, where he has scored pole, I think in 2019 it was, and he won that one, so we'll see how this one goes.
We're in Belgium once again for today's round of the Formula 1 World Championship. It's a race the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019, Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher in 1992. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high quality racing as well. Simply put it, there really is no place quite like Spa. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Let's talk about the scientist. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri BOTTAS that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Albon, Hamilton, Max Verstappen, the scientist, Grosjean, PEREZ, Matsushita, and Daniel Ricciardo. Gasly, Joe, Antonio Giovinazzi, and De Vries, Ocon, Sainz, Daniel Kvyat, and Nicholas Latifi. Magnussen, Stroll, Russell, and Lando Norris starts from the back of the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
Let's see if we can keep the momentum up. Let's get another podium.
Yeah, let's certainly try to get another podium. I think we can do it. We've had good pace throughout practice in the early stages of qualifying in the dry, so I think there should be no reason that we can't stand on the podium today. Strategy, of course, will be a one-stop, as it almost always is here in Belgium, so let's just get into the race and see how it all plays out as we get ready now to go to the 5 red lights. And away we go for the Belgian Grand Prix. Wheel spin for Lewis Hamilton. We've got to run. We're going to try and go to the inside as we head down towards the first corner. A little bit early on the brakes, trying to get alongside Hamilton though, but we just can't quite get there. And Sergio Perez gets us around the outside, and he takes 5th position. We drop down to 6th, but that is our grid slot position, so we're still in an okay position. We have to lift a bit and back out of it through Eau Rouge and Radion to not understeer clean off the circuit there, and that's compromised us all the way along the straight. Now our teammate Romain Grosjean is closing in on the right hand side, trying to go down the inside into ACCLAIM as we run side by side with our teammate, and we're going to try and maintain this position around the outside of Malmedy, and we have just about got that done and held the position late on the brakes into Rivage to try and finally close the deal, and we do so, and now we can get on with the job and try and chase down the 5 cars ahead of us. First one is Sergio Perez, the Mexican, in the AlphaTauri, so let's see if we can close the gap to him. As I said, we have maintained our starting position, so that's a decent enough start for us. As we continue on though, we don't really have the pace at the moment. A mistake at the first corner, and that's going to leave us vulnerable to Romain Grosjean as we head up Eau Rouge and Radion once again. He's going to have a good chance of getting past us on the run to Les Combes. So yeah, let's try and hold him off, but I don't know if there's really going to be much that we can do about it. He's sitting in the slipstream. He's going to go to the inside as we switch to the racing line, and we're not going to fight him too hard here. He will find his way through, and we're just going to slot in behind for the time being as we very aggressively shut the door on Max Verstappen there, and that is unfortunate. But anyway, we continue on and there's been an issue because the virtual safety car is out, and this is the reason why on board with Valtteri BOTTAS loses the back end in the straight line and smashes into the wall at high speed. And that is a big one for Valtteri BOTTAS. Is he on board with his teammate Hamilton, who had a good view of that one, and he will surely be concerned about his teammate there. But Albon just very slightly moved on the straight, and Bottas just a millisecond later turns to the right, potentially trying to make a move on Albon, and was just caught out by Albon moving a bit, and yeah, lost the back end, spun into the wall, and that is the end of the day for one of the big title contenders here in this season. So that's unfortunate for Valtteri Bottas, but end of the virtual safety car, and we get moving once again and continue our chase of Sergio Perez and the group ahead. But further up the road, this is Alexander Albon being chased by Sergio Perez, and they're going to go side by side through Eau Rouge, up the hill through Radion, and Perez gets out ahead. Great driving there by both of them to get through there cleanly. Now Grosjean's got to run, and he's going to try and get past Alex Albon as well. He's got the momentum and gets the move done. We can't quite get there. We have a little look to the inside, but the straight just not quite long enough for us to take the advantage there as well. But that was a great move by Sergio Perez through Eau Rouge and Radion. That's insane. We get our chance to overtake Alexander Albon not too long after that, and are able to clear the tie Brits and move ourselves up another position as the cars ahead of us are battling, and Grosjean getting ahead of Sergio Perez, or trying to, but not quite getting there on this occasion. But I'm sure he will get there very soon. Grosjean in our car has been very, very quick, so I imagine he'll make the move soon enough. So as we continue on, we've got the DRS from Grosjean. Grosjean's got DRS from Perez. Grosjean gets the move done in a straight line. We might be able to get through down the inside of Perez. He gives us a tiny bit of space, just about. We squeeze through and make the move on the Mexican in the AlphaTauri and get ourselves up and into fourth position in this one. That was very, very fine margins on the right there. I wasn't expecting Perez to give us such a big squeeze, but we were able to get through there and make the move. And that is all that matters at this point, just trying to get through the field as we continue on. Now we do now have better pace than Romain Grosjean, now that we've settled into a rhythm, and we're going to get past here in a straight line surely. We go to the inside and blaze past on the straights, and there's not really any way Grosjean can defend from that. And now we can set our sights on the race leaders, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, who is chasing down the Ferrari. We continue on, and now sitting behind Lewis Hamilton as we head along the straight. We're going to go for the move down the inside. No, we're not. We're going to just sit behind for a little bit longer. I was actually shaking around, seeing if I could make him go defensive into the corner, but he didn't fall for it and maintained the position. We continue on then up Eau Rouge and Radion once again. We've got a good run here on Lewis Hamilton. We've got the DRS, so does Hamilton, but there's been an issue behind. I think yellow flags are out. We're going to get past Lewis Hamilton here though in a straight line, and the safety car is out right as we get past Lewis Hamilton. I actually thought that was an illegal overtake. I was trying to give the spot back. This is what happened though. Sergio Perez and Gasly into the back of Perez as Perez was smoking away with an engine failure. Pierre Gasly, the other AlphaTauri, smashes into the back of him. Here's the onboard, just misjudged that in the location of the left front wheel on his AlphaTauri car, and whack. That is the end of the day for both AlphaTauris, and their race has all come unstuck in a matter of seconds. They might as well just pack up and go home. They've got nothing left to do here in Belgium, so that's really, really unfortunate for them. We make a stop, and we're under the safety car. We're only like a lap away from our window anyway, so that is not going to affect us in any negative way in terms of tyre wear by the end of the race, because everyone is stopping under this safety car. Literally everyone is making a pit stop here, and now we are ready to go racing once again. The safety car.
It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
And now Ricardo has an issue, so that is going to ruin his race. He may drop down the field a bit. I'm not sure where he's at this point in time, but not in the top 5, and he will be losing more positions if he has some issues with his car. So that's unfortunate for someone who has been such a strong contender this season so far. I'm sure he will come back fighting in Italy though. But we get going once again. Charles Leclerc leads us away, and we now need to try and chase him down and try our best to then take the lead of this race and see what we can do for the rest of it. So as we continue on through Blanchimont, this is as close as we've been to Leclerc. We're going to go to the outside as we head into the bus stop. We're going to try and make the move around the outside. He gives us the room and we get the move done on Charles Leclerc and move ourselves into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. I honestly didn't think that we could get into this situation in this race, but it is an easy track to make overtakes on and an easy one to make mistakes as we go deep into the first corner, defending a bit of fresh air there, to be honest, and that's compromised us as we head up towards Eau Rouge and Radion. Once again, Leclerc ducks in behind, thankfully, but as we head along the straight, he's going to have a run, but the straight line speed for us is actually really good, and we're able to pull away even with Leclerc sitting behind us in the slipstream. But as we continue on, a mistake there into Rivage, and that's allowed Hamilton now, who must have gotten ahead of Leclerc at some point, so we missed that one. But Hamilton's now taken the lead as we made a mistake through Rivage, so that's unfortunate. But we'll chase him down again, I am sure. And on that topic, DRS for us and slipstream, as well as having the fuel mix turned up, and we're going to make the move down the inside of Lewis Hamilton. A late on the brakes, the aggressive move there, and a late decision to go for it, but we got the car stopped and made the corner, and easily we're able to get past Lewis Hamilton there. Meanwhile, behind Romain Grosjean's making the move on the other Ferrari of Max Verstappen, and he gets it done well before the corner, and it's a nice clean pass on him as we continue on. Grosjean's already cleared Albon and now clears Charles Leclerc in much the same fashion. So Grosjean now is up into the podium places, just Hamilton separating the two of us. But I don't know if Grosjean quite has the pace of Lewis Hamilton. So what I'm doing here is just taking it nice and easy through these corners and making sure Hamilton cannot use the pace that he has, except he has other ideas. Goes down the inside into Pouon and makes the move there, and now we have to try and chase him down once again, but this isn't exactly a bad thing. The more we fight, the closer Grosjean will get to us, and the more chance Grosjean will have of passing Lewis Hamilton. So that is the target. We're just going to battle with Hamilton, be annoying, and hopefully Grosjean will be able to close the gap to us. We're just going to take it nice and easy, go nice and slow through here, and Grosjean should catch up and be in the fight in no time as we go for a big old slide there through Stavelo, and that's going to compromise our run out onto this kind of back straight, I guess you could call it. Certainly not straight, whatever this section is. It's called Blanchimont, as we go side by side with Lewis Hamilton, and he's going to get ahead around the outside. We're going to see if we can fight back to the inside though, down the inside into the bus stop, and we'll just about get the nose in, but Hamilton stays ahead as we try and get a nice little switch back onto the straight. Bit of wheel spin and losing the back end onto the straight, and that's lost us a bit of time, but Grosjean should be close enough to have DRS from us, or very cllose to it, and we'll have the DRS from Hamilton, so maybe, just maybe, we can both get past on the straight here. Grosjean may just be too far back though, but we'll see what we can do as we sit behind Lewis Hamilton through Eau Rouge. Bit of a hop over the curbs there, but we lost a lot of momentum in doing that. We'll still be able to make the move though. DRS open, the revs rise, and now we make the move on Lewis Hamilton to the outside, pinch him to the inside, give him the tight line, and make sure we cover him off at the next corner. We do so, and make that move work. Get back into the lead of this one. Romain Grosjean though certainly not able to make that move. We continue on though, and Grosjean is looking pacey, and now is making the move around the outside of Lewis Hamilton into Lecom, but they're going to run side by side, and Hamilton just about holds on as we are now going side by side with Hamilton through Eau Rouge and Radion. We have to cut the exit of Radion there, as Hamilton's got a lift as well, and now Grosjean's got the run on Hamilton, gets past, and now he's got a run at us sitting in the slipstream. Goes to the left hand side as we head up towards Lecom. We're going to go side by side, but we do hold off Romain Grosjean, and ignore that, we're not going to box, of course, this late in the race. Don't know what that was about really, but now we're going to lift off and let Grosjean pass, because I don't think he will have the pace to beat Lewis Hamilton, and we'll try and overtake Grosjean again on the final lap when Hamilton doesn't have a chance. But speaking of Hamilton, he gave us a bit of a bump there on the run into Pouon, and now he's actually damaged his front wing and has to pit. So a turn of events here, as we were trying to save Grosjean from Hamilton. We've done so, but not in the way we were anticipating. We now move on to the final lap, and we've dropped actually a fair way behind Romain Grosjean as we were sending it into the first corner. We promised we weren't trying to take him out there, we're very deep on the brakes. But yeah, that is not good for us, because we need to try and get back past Grosjean if we want to win this race, and he's not going to give this one up on his own. So now we really need to push on this final lap and try and get close enough. We couldn't get the move done into Lecom as I planned, so now our only chance is into the bus stop. So here we go then, a decent exit out of Stavelot. We've got momentum on our side, sitting in the slipstream. We're actually too close as we head into Portimon. We've got nowhere to go, and that has cost us there, as we're going to have to sit behind for a little bit longer. We're going to go down the inside into the bus stop, side by side with our teammate through the final two corners, but Grosjean's just about going to hold on, and we're going to be left out and have to settle for second position. Romain Grosjean wins the Belgian Grand Prix.
Good job, you did really well. Super driving.
And it is only second place for us. How did we let that one slide? Oh, that's really unfortunate. Trust me to do that.
Many doubted whether they could pull off the win here at Spa-Francorchamps, but they've done so in spectacular style. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium.
So, Romain Grosjean wins the Belgian Grand Prix. We make it a 1-2 for the Lupo Thunder team, and Charles Leclerc finishes third for Ferrari.
Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. The scientist increases their championship lead. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Romain Grosjean's my driver of the day. I don't think I've ever seen such a strong performance from him.
Let's move on to the constructors. The current leaders continue to extend their lead at the top. It was also a strong Grand Prix from Haas F1 this weekend. Fantastic work from the American team to move themselves further up the table. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
So there we have it, to the end of the Belgian Grand Prix, and what a weird ending that was. So yeah, we come to blows with Hamilton once again for I don't even know how many races in a row this is, let alone in total. Yeah, it seems just like it's inevitable at this point that just at some point during a race we're going to have a run-in with Hamilton, and yeah, just seems to happen every time. But I suppose when you're racing the likes of Hamilton all the time, they are the ones you're going to have issues with. I'm not going to have any run-ins you know, with Nick de Vries anytime soon. But anyway, other than that though, it was a decent race for us. We struggled for pace a bit at the start, but we're able to fight our way back through the field in tandem with Romain Grosjean. We were following him through for a while there at the start, and he lost a few spots when he had to double stack with us under safety car. That overtake on Hamilton right before the safety car, I'd love to know how far ahead of Hamilton we were at the moment the safety car was called, because it must have been millimeters. It was so borderline. As I said, I backed off because I thought that would have been an illegal overtake, but no, apparently that was fine, and we managed to hold that position. But yeah, that was a little bit of crazy there. But what am I saying? We still need to work on the car a bit and potentially work on Grosjean's pace, because he was being outpaced by Hamilton during this race. We've already got the best car in every department, so yeah, we need to work on Grosjean's pace and do a little bit more simulator work potentially. But other than that, there's not really too much else to come out of this race. We've pretty much maximised it.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. How good does it feel to have both cars in your team take the top spots?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it doesn't get any better than a 1-2 finish, of course. You know, maybe I would prefer it the other way around, but honestly, I can't complain. It's great to have both cars up there, competitive, scoring the constructors' points and doing well.
You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
Well, there wasn't really anything in particular. We were just fast.
Will you be celebrating with your teammate tonight after their hard-earned victory?
Oh yeah, of course. A great result like this, we need to celebrate these. So yeah, of course we will be. That's just a given at this point. But yeah, it was a great win for him.
Your teammate had a great race today and was rewarded with a podium. Do you have any comments on their performance?
Yeah, he did really well, and we had a few team tactics to try and get him up into the lead, as you would have seen. But other than that, he did his part of the job, made overtakes when the opportunities arose, and yeah, he deserved that one.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, anyway, now that brings an end to the Belgian Grand Prix weekend, acclaim and all such. Money's rolling in as well, and now we can have a look at the R&D and all of that for this episode. Gonna go for the G-Force training, only 2 days, so apparently no time for podium celebrations this time. Straight back into the simulator with you. Well, the training, not the simulator, for Romain Grosjean. That's fine, we'll have a little celebration at some other time, I'm sure. But anyway, we're going to go for a fuel efficiency upgrade, and that is it for R&D this time. So as we continue through, we will get that weight reduction wheel rims upgrade that we missed out on heading into this episode, and that will be on the car for the Italian Grand Prix. But yeah, that is just about it. You can see as we have a look at the chassis department how much of a boost that upgrade has given us at the top there. So we have a really great chassis, great in all the other departments as well. Durability not quite as much, but obviously that doesn't affect the outright pace of the car. But other than that, then there is not a lot left to cover. So I will say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and I will see you for the next round, the next episode for the Italian Grand Prix.